Hey guys, John here with GameDevHQ, and in this video we're going to check out how to use Mixamo to animate our GameDevHQ characters from Filebase. We just started getting into characters, and you can see here I've already downloaded quite a few of them. I got one of them placed in my scene here, and all you have to do with GameDevHQ is everything is already to the standards of Mixamo. There's no avatar configurations and there's no bone remapping. So go ahead, download a few characters, place them in your scene, and let's add some animations. So here we are in Unity. I'm going to locate my fireman, and all I've done so far is I just added my FBX rig, which has a prefab here, and I've dragged that into the scene. You'll see here that it has an animator component, but there's no controller yet, and it has an avatar. Now that avatar was created for you. It matches the bone structure of what Mixamo is expecting. You don't ever have to touch this. So what we need to do here is we will have to create a controller, but we'll do that once we get the animations. So with our character placed in our scene, we can now head over to mixamo.com to get started. Mixamo is a completely free service where you can just download a bunch of awesome animations. You can even upload our FBX to view how it would look with a different model. Now, the model that you place here doesn't actually matter. What matters is the animation. Now, when you work with a variety of different assets from the Unity asset store, a lot of the models are not boned properly with Mixamo, which means that you have to download animations and then you have to remap the bones and do all the things with these transform objects inside of the character. We designed all of our characters to be Mixamo ready because we know that everyone's using Mixamo to animate their games these days, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you. So here, if I want to search for a death animation, I'm going to search for death. And let's say here that we like this sword and shield death animation here. All we have to do is select it, check it out, and let's just download it. We have a format, FBX for Unity, with skin, and click download. Once that's downloaded, you'll see it here, and you're going to drag that FBX into your project view. So I'm going to locate my fireman location, and I'm going to create here an animations folder. So you'll see here it has a run and walk anim. I'm basically going to add in our run or our death animation here. So I'm just going to create a new folder for death, and then here we can go in, just drop in that FBX that we just downloaded from Mixamo, and I'm going to rename this to death. And the first thing we need to do here is, in order for this to work with our characters, we need to change the animation type to humanoid. So select animation type and go to humanoid. Once you do that, simply click apply. Now, to make use of this animation, the FBX is read-only. So if I look at the animation clip here, I can play it, but I can't modify any of these values here. Now, in order to do that, you just have to duplicate the animation. So duplicate it, it's now outside the FBX, and this is actually going to be the death animation that our character is going to use. Now, to make use of this animation here, you'll see here that we can basically, and it looks pink here, and that's because I'm using the universal render pipeline, but basically here, what we can do now is we can attach this to a controller and onto our character. So to do that, we're going to create a controller for our character. Right-click your folder, create, and we're going to add an animator controller. An animator controller holds all of the animations for a specific game object. So you might have, for example, your walk, run, and death cycles in a player controller. So we'll name this player anim. Let's attach this to our player inside of that controller slot. Double click it to open up the animator view, and I'm simply just going to drag in my death animation. Now, once I do that, it's automatically going to play this animation, and on this death animation, I want to make sure that it's looping. And if we just run the game, you'll see here that we didn't have to do any avatar configurations, no bone remapping, and everything just works. And our character is good to go. Now, you'll see here that he's falling through the floor and going through, and that's because root motion is being applied. If you allow root motion, it's going to take control of the animation and character position. We just uncheck that, and we're okay here. Also, what we can do is we can actually bake the animation into the pose. So one of the things you might want to do is bake into pose along the body orientation, the root transform Y, and the X, Y, and Z. Now when I run this, our character is just going to lay flat on our floor, and everything is awesome. And there we go. And what's really great about this is this animation now works with other characters. So for example, I downloaded 4 characters. Let's take that alien character that we have here. Inside of Filebase, I'm just going to go to my downloads folder, and I'm going to locate this Alien 01 here. and I'm simply just going to drag the FBX file into my scene. Okay, so with this character, here what I can do is I can basically give it the same controller. So select the alien, give it the player controller, uncheck root motion, and now both of these characters from Filebase can use the same animations. So oftentimes in your games, you can use Mixamo to animate your entire games, from everything to jumping, running, idle, and death animations, including so much more, and our characters are ready to take the challenge of whatever you're going to throw at it from Mixamo. Alright guys, thanks for watching.